Is Geoffrey Pomwele, and this is the ATM machine program that I created using the C++ language. I have a string called the new user ID. This is the variable that will hold the ID that the user will type. I have another variable called the new user password. And this variable will hold the password by the user. I have another variable called account balance, and this will hold the user's balance. I have another variable called logged in. This variable will hold the status of logging into the ATM program. I have another variable called the user entered option. This is where the user enters the display menu. The option that the user enters from the menu display. I have another string called entered user ID and entered user password. With the while loop and function below is how the ATM code will be created. And here it welcomes with the ATM machine, choose an option, log in, create new account, and quit. So below is how the code is created with the if function. And this is what we are going to look at below. If the user enters option C, the code below will run so that he can create an account with the bank. And with the sign out, with the sign in, the new user ID. Here the user will enter the preferred ID that will help be stored in the variable named the user ID below. We sign in here. We sign in here is where the user will be requested for his or her password, and the user will be creating, and this password will be stored in the variable called new password as I have declared here. So as we go on further with the if function, we see that the user can try in many options which are on the menu. For example, if the user exists in the system and enters login option, he will be required enter his ID password that he or she has registered with the bank below, and enter the user ID, enter your password as you see it below. Here my code will check the entered user ID and password if is equal the user login details supplied at the time of registration. Down here with the if function, we see login successful if the person has entered the correct details and he has been existing in the system. So here on the C out with the if function, if it's stored in the C out, then that means here that the login failed. And this message returns to the user if they don't exist in the system. And this is where we go further. This is where we go further. And you press quit. And the code below will run here if the user is existing in the ATM program. So the code will run if it is successful in logging into the ATM program with options: conduct a deposit, withdraw, check balance, and quit the program. Quit the program. Else, this is what it will show a person on the menu. choose options, it will show you D stands for deposit money, W stands for withdraw money, R stands for check balance, and Q stands for quit. So if the user selects option D, he will be directed to deposit any amount that he will be prompted to enter. For example, if we say 200,000 without commas, he will enter the amount deposit and he will have it on his account balance. So when the user selects option W, which is withdraw, he or she will be taken to withdraw option. And the sign out object will capture the withdraw amount entered by the user. With the if function down here, withdrawn amount will be shown and it will be captured in the sign out object. Also, if the withdrawn amount is greater than the account balance, it can tell you that there is insufficient money in the system. So now here, when the user decides to check if his or her balance, it will return to their balance and display to them. And this is where we have the option R if you have typed it into the system. If entered Q, it will quit the program and it will display the message for you to log out as below. Then it will show you have logged out. So basically, here I am going to continue and show you on how I have developed this code and what actually I have been talking about here in the code when I run it. So I'm going to take you further and you see when I run the output, what happens. So basically here, if you run, it will welcome you to the ATM machine and it tells you to choose option. So here I'm going to choose the option of login. I press enter and it will say put your ID. Since I don't exist in the option in the system, I will put Joffrex, the user ID. I will put Joffrex and then I press enter. I put 2024. I press enter. So it will tell me login failed. And what I will do here, because I don't now exist in the system, I am going to press option C and I press enter. That is creating account. And I will put the user ID Joffrex. And then I press enter. I put password 2024. And when I press enter, it will tell you that your login is successful. And it will further give you options. And the option it gives you here, I am now going to log in again. Since it was successful, I press enter. I put Joffrex as the user ID. And then I password 2024. I press enter. And it will bring me to the options I was talking about in the coding program, where we have the deposit, the withdraw money, check balance, and then quit. And then here I'm going to be in position to try the option of deposit and I press enter and it will show you that you can deposit amount. So for example, I will deposit 200,000 and I press enter. It will show you the deposit amount successful and your new balance is 200,000. So I can go further to check the option of withdraw. I press enter here. Let me withdraw 70,000 and it will show you that withdraw successful. Your new balance is 130. And we can go further and check the option of balance and that is R. I press enter and it will show you that your current balance is 130,000. And when we go further and I press option Q, I press option Q and here it will be in position to return me back. It will be in position to return me back. You have been logged out. Welcome to the ATM machine. It takes me back to the main menu. So this is the ATM machine program that I created and successfully. It is amazing. It is really amazing.